So I started volunteering in the legal aid clinic when I was a student, and I knew immediately that that's the kind of work I wanted to do. It's the kind of client I wanted to work with. It's the cause that I wanted to be a part of. And so I have, from day one, hoped that this would be my career and hoped that this would be my career for a very long time. Being on Skid Row, you start to notice, and this happens in any kind of legal aid setting or public defense setting or pretty much any setting really, you start seeing people burn out pretty quickly. And so on Skid Row, people often stay a couple years and then it's just too much. It's really hard work and emotionally challenging work. And so they end up going and finding something else to do. I want my career to be long and I want my impact to be, as much as I can. I want to make an impact on Skid Row. And so I started realizing pretty quickly that I needed to do something to help myself be resilient enough to stay around and to be engaged with my clients. I don't want to just be there. The minute I am burnt out, I believe I need to leave. And so I want to try to prevent that. And as I sort of go into more of a yellow zone, a little caution zone, I want to quickly pull myself back out into that more thriving area, just out of respect for myself, out of respect for my client. So I have, from probably day one, been really interested in what are the boundaries I have for myself down in my, doing my work, and how can I encourage my colleagues to do the same? Sometimes it's, hey, you should really go get that root canal. Like, you deserve to get that root canal. The clients will be here tomorrow. Just encouraging each other to actually take care of ourselves. And then as a professor, I feel a great duty to my students. I had never heard of this kind of thing. These occupational hazards of lawyering, I didn't hear about them when I was in law school. It's a developing field, and so we're getting to know more and more about it now. And I want to send my students out prepared to take care of themselves, prepared to be resilient, and prepared to be really great advocates. And so that's probably why it's my passion. I could sing this song for the rest of my days. This is what I care about. So some of the signs of burnout are really the things that you want to be looking for. So when you start hearing just your internal talk is becoming a little bit cynical, maybe you start being really irritated with your clients for things that maybe didn't used to irritate you. Maybe now they're really starting to irritate you. Also, if it starts to turn on yourself. So if you start hearing negative talk toward yourself, you sort of want to pay attention to that and keep an eye. If you find yourself being way more tired than you've ever been, fatigue is a sign. If you're not able to recuperate from illness, a cold that just won't go away, these are the types of things that the stress has been too prolonged and is really starting to take an effect on you. So a couple of helpful things that I've found is the Professional Quality of Life Assessment, which is available online. And you can take a quick assessment to sort of see where you are in your satisfaction and in your stressors in your career. Also, the University of Buffalo School of Social Work has a great website that's curated by Dr. Lisa Butler, full of assessments and self-care plans, and just some good reading and bibliography about this kind of work and how the stress and vicarious trauma can affect you. Also, just a helpful little exercise that you can do is sort of imagine a stoplight and imagine the green areas, how you're doing when you're thriving. What are some of the things you're exercising, you're riding that bike, you're going out with friends weekly or quarterly, whatever it is, right? And so you sort of think of your life in those terms. And then you think, what's the caution area? What's the yellow? When am I kind of starting to get a little too stressed? So I don't have time for my friends. I'm irritated with my children. I mean, never, of course, but what are the things that I sort of notice in myself when the stress is getting a little bit too deep? And so then thinking of the red, and that's really where you kind of starting to go off the deep end. And for me, it's my eye starts to twitch, and that's when I know maybe a case has really gotten to me a bit more than I think, or whatever it is. And so kind of going through those and kind of assessing yourself ever so often, just how am I doing? And I want to be more in the green. I want to be thriving. And my career is a really important part of my life. I don't want it to help create a situation where I don't have a life because of my career. It's supposed to be part of it.